Okay, I think we're ready.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and admit all of them, and that way you can get everybody sworn in. I've got two plaintiffs, and I've got defendant on only one case.
Okay.
Thank you all for being here today. This is Savannah with Judge Cancino's office. I'm going to bring you all over so that way we can get you sworn in. And then I will bring all of you back over to the waiting room until it's time to hear each case.
Good morning. This is Lance Cancino. I'm Justice of the Peace here in Precinct 4. And this morning we are hearing evictions. To begin with, we will swear everyone who will be talking to me in. If you are testifying either as a plaintiff or a defendant, then you need to raise your right hand and take this oath. You solemnly swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to move everybody back over to the waiting room, and you'll remain there until I bring you over again.
All right.
Miss Flores, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I can.
We're going to go ahead and start with your case today. I'm not showing a defendant showing in this case today.
Okay.
And which case is this?
This is the Flores Apartments versus Miss Alta Bailey.
It's case number 049.
Okay. There we are. And Ms. Flores, you are seeking to evict Alta Bailey, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And all other occupants from 5818 8th Street, Apartment C. And is that monthly rent $750?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And on what grounds are you seeking this eviction?
Non-payment.
Non-payment. How much are you seeking?
Well, I was seeking the $750 for February and then the $750 for March rent.
Total of $1,500 of back rent.
Yes, sir.
And are you aware of a CDC declaration being filed?
None has been filed.
Okay. Do you think that there might be one filed?
I do not.
Okay. You have reason to believe that the reason for this non-payment is not related to COVID in any way then?
No, sir. The tenant had sent me basically a text saying that she had some personal issues with living in that particular location and mentioned she was going to vacate the premises, and she hadn't paid rent either.
I see. Okay. That sounds good. I'm going to show that the defendant did not appear this morning, and I am granting the eviction and the judgment for $1,500 plus the court costs, and setting the bond at $750, 1 month's rent. And I'm signing that today, March 2nd, 2021. Is there anything further that we need to take care of this morning?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, then just finish filling this out. And we are done with that. Thank you.
Okay, the next one I'm going to bring over Kana. She is with Capstone Cottages, they have 4 cases today. We're gonna go ahead and start.
3, ma'am.
You said 3?
Yes, ma'am. I sent an email, I believe, last week in regards to Joelle Natambwe.
Yeah, okay, because I got one for the Diana.
I hand delivered Diana, and then I sent an email with that same cover letter in regards to Joelle Natambwe, so he is good to go.
Okay, I'll go ahead and release that one. Okay, so the first one we're gonna do is Philip Ghana, case number 047.
Okay.
And let's see. Kana, is that how you say it?
It's Kana, Your Honor.
Kana, okay.
It's okay.
Kana, you're representing Capstone Cottages.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you're seeking to evict Philip Ghana?
Philip Ghana, yes, Your Honor.
Philip Ghana, okay. And all other occupants from 4702 4th Street, Unit 4006 A through D. Is that correct, A through D?
Can you say that one more time, Your Honor? You broke up.
I'm showing 4702 4th Street, Unit 4006, A through D.
The unit is 4006A, and the bedroom letter is D. That is the unit that he resides in.
Okay, so it should be just a comma then.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. A and D. Oh, so this is a single. This is a room in a single unit.
Yes, Your Honor. 4006 is a duplex. So we have 4006A and 4006B. And then within those 2 units, there's 5 bedrooms, A through E.
I see. Okay. Okay. And I am showing that Philip Ghana has not appeared this morning. The monthly rent is that $600, correct?
It's 600, Your Honor. When I filled it out, he had a concession, but the actual is 610. And we're going on 3 months of unpaid rent now. So his current account is at $21.70 and what we're looking to collect is $1,970.
And say that again. I missed it. It broke up there for just a second. Did you say that it was $610 per month is the monthly rent amount?
Let me interrupt for just a second. One of you has an echo. And that's what's breaking up when y'all are talking. So either a speaker's too loud. Judge, did you close out YouTube?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Let's see here.
It might just be echoing off the wall behind her because I know it's like kind of close to her. I don't know. But that's the only thing I can hear that's, where y'all are missing from each other's what the other person
Is that better?
I think so, yes. Let's try that. I'm showing a monthly rent of $600. Is that correct or not?
It's actually 610. He had a discount of 10 that we provided to him.
Okay, $610 is the correct monthly rent.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, $610 per month. And you said you are seeking 3 months in back rent, and that's back rent alone, no other fees.
Correct.
And 610 times 3 is 1830. How much are you seeking?
The 1830.
Okay, I thought I heard 1900 something.
That was including the attorney fee, but without the attorney fee, it's 1830.
So you are seeking 1830 in back rent. Okay. Okay. Then I am granting the eviction this morning based on your testimony, and the judgment will be for $1,830 plus the $136 of court costs. And the bond is set at $610 for appeal. I'm signing that today, March 2nd of 2021.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And let's see, then do we have a case with
Yes,
with the defendant?
you have, well, not yet. You've got another case with no defendant.
Okay,
Case number 048, Alicia Garfinello.
Garfinello.
I think it's $144. If you pay the ticket at $287, then it would go on your record.
okay. And let's see. Kana, representing Capstone Cottages, you are seeking to evict Felicia Garfinello,
Yes, Your Honor.
and all other occupants, and this is 4702 4th Street, Unit 2002 and A. Is that correct?
Your Honor.
I am showing a monthly rent of $699. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And on what grounds are you seeking this eviction?
Can you say that one more time, Your Honor?
On what grounds are you seeking the eviction?
3 months of unpaid rent.
And that comes to,
$2,097, Your Honor.
okay, $2,097 is what you are seeking. Miss Garfinello? Miss Garfinello, are you there?
No, Your Honor, we don't have a defendant in this case.
Okay, I thought no defendant has appeared. Okay. And I am, based on your testimony, Kana, I am granting the eviction, setting the judgment at $2,097. And the bond for appeal is set at $699. And that is signed today, March 2nd, 2021.
Okay, Judge, the next case is going to be case number 044. We have the defendant, Jordan Khalil, and also his father, Muhammad Khalil. I'm going to go ahead and bring both of them over.
Okay.
Hello, Mr. Muhammad Khalil and Mr. Jordan Khalil. I do have you on with Kana representing Capstone Cottages and with Judge Lance Cancino. If you can just make sure you don't speak over each other, make sure that your background noise is at a minimum, and we'll get through this short and sweet.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Land. No.
And let's see. I am speaking with Kana representing Capstone Cottages and Jordan Khalil and your father. Is that correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Kana,
Yes, Your Honor.
you are seeking to evict Jordan Khalil from 4702 4th Street, Unit 3019, space D.
Yes, Your Honor.
And on what grounds are you seeking this eviction?
3 months of unpaid rent.
3 months of unpaid rent. Is that monthly rent $669?
Yes, Your Honor.
And so the amount of unpaid rent then would be how much?
$2,007. His current account is at $32.35.45, but we are looking to collect $2,007 for previous unpaid rent.
Okay. And Mr. Khalil,
Yes,
do you
sir.
have a defense this morning?
Yes, Your Honor.
You may proceed.
Our defense has been a conversation having with the Capstone since September of last year. They've kept assessing late fees and justify late fees. We kept inquiring about why and give us a reason why. Made payment for September, October, November, and December, and we have approved that payment. So Capstone were choosing to take the money's being paid to cover late fees and showing that we're behind on rent. Conversation happened with all the way top level, including Mr. David Garza, which is I repeatedly called him in a regular basis. He keeps saying, I will return back to you, and never return back to me. Till late as last week when he had the winter storm and we had a flooding and our power outage, could not connect with him. Ironically, the day after that, my son gets served papers there for eviction. We told him we paid all the way to December. Yes, January and February are due, which is we are prepared to pay. My son went to the office yesterday and say, I'll give you the rent. Even they're asking today $2,007. We were willing to pay $2,100 yesterday because I kept rounded up to $690 rent per month. But they're saying there's other fees, which is not justified. With all due respect, Your Honor, understand the circumstances our nation's been going through. We have experienced a lot of difficult time, although we experienced a loss of tragedy, death of Jordan's brother, my son, and we've been recouping and recovering through that. The only one time happened, a payment was presented and was not paid by the bank because it went through the bank. They assist fees of $150. I asked them to help us waive it and work with us on it. They kept refusing to do that. And all the money, the amount of the $3,235, it all included late fees. And we know, we're not refusing to pay rent. We're ready to pay rent, but we just have a problem with assessing late fees and not willing to work with us and keep telling us this is a state order. I said it's unheard of. The state and the whole country and the federal government are working with tenants, with people going through some rough time. And you trying to evict a young man, he's working hard to complete his education. I am suffering and struggling here, loss or death of my other son, and working hard to keep my business in shape. So I asked Capstone to work with me. We will satisfy the payment. The rent payments, however, all the way till December is made in full. The dispute here, and it's just unjustifiable, is the late fees, and they're saying this is a state order. And if that is true, Your Honor, then we'll have to comply with the state order. But for them and their incompetency of working with their tenant rather than just utilizing the system for a frivolous matter that could have been arbitrated amicably between us. So we are prepared to pay the $2,007 as soon as we get out of this session, but they gotta continue assessing that late fees, which is, I found it to be unrighteous and it's not justifiable.
And Miss Khanna?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, will you tell me about the late fees?
Yes, Your Honor. So within the housing agreement that was signed by Jordan Khalil, it does state that there is a grace period between the 1st and the 3rd of every month when rent is posted to the accounts. After the 3rd, there is a $30 late fee that is posted on the 4th, and every day after that is $5. We have had many conversations with Mr. Khalil and Jordan as well in regards to when rent is due. We send routine emails at the beginning of every month and at the end to let them know and remind them that rent is going to be due. We did come up with a plan early in December. On December 8th, this is my property manager, David Garza. He was the one who personally spoke with Mr. Khalil and gave him an option to help with the late fees in regards to that. We were going to remove a total of
$175 in late fees.
But to that offer, Mr. Khalil refused, and he did not want to pay any of the late fees or any rent. And there's writing per email. On the 1st of January, we did not receive any attempt of payment, as well as the 1st of February. And yesterday was March rent posted. So we have not received any attempt of payment for rent in regards to reducing his balance at all since the 1st of January.
Okay, So let me see now. Do you have a copy of the contract, the signed contract with
Yes, sir.
Jordan?
They have a copy of it as well because it is in Jordan's resident portal in his documents tab.
And do you have documentation of the late times and when actual payment was made?
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor, I do. So
Uh,
there's been a total of 5 late payments on the account, and 2 of those payments were returned.
There were 5 late payments. So you have a grace period. If someone pays on the 3rd of the month, then they're still in the grace period. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor, as long as it clears.
If they pay on the 4th of the month, then there's a $30 charge. And if they pay on the 5th of the month, there's a $35 charge and it goes up $5. Is that
Yes,
correct?
Your Honor.
And that is specified in the contract.
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Khalil, do you have is that your understanding of the contract?
Yes, Your Honor, and according to the contract we have done, except on September 3rd, and that's when the tragedy hit our family, and then a payment was returned. And you say those 3. I have all the records, which is I have ordered from the bank to show where the payment made. That payment they sent claimed that it was not cleared. Yes, they went through the wrong account, and I made it clear on it, and I satisfied it. But in the meantime, they've assessed additional late fees. So according to Mr. Garza's conversation yesterday, he said now December is late, never paid, which is in fact December is paid. But he said, yes, but with all the money, the payments you made, we covered all your late fees and we made you look late for December. And I found that to be deliberately set to set up people to struggle more than they already been struggling. It's not that we're worried about, or I guess times are difficult, we are struggling, but we're making payment and we made many attempts. When I talked to Mr. Garza in November, in December, during the grieving time that we were going through, I said, work with me, I will satisfy your payments. But he said, I cannot, my boss, I'll go to my boss, I'll get back with you, and never get back with me. I had to get back with him every time. I don't want my son into more trauma than we already have been. I want him to continue perceiving and follow his dream of education. And as I'm struggling, trying to rebuild my business and recoup and making the payments, I say the rent payments will be made, there's no problem, but just be conscientious here. Late fees are being really understood that you work with people through difficult times, and especially the entire nation's gone through difficult time during, and I've heard of people that haven't paid rent in a year and haven't been evicted. And I don't want to subject my son to evictions and humiliation in front of his roommates and college mates. We were there yesterday with the offer to give him the $2,100 for January, February, and March payment. Now he came back and said December is not paid. I said, how come? I have a proof that it's paid. He said, oh, no, the payment you made, we covered your late fees. And I don't think that is really correlate with the contractual agreement that they said. They didn't never stated that we will take every money you send us to cover any late fees that we think it's due to us and subjected to become late on rent. And that's what I need to come back and show cause that there's a wrongdoing here on their part. Although you're asking for contracts and agreements, but they haven't been cooperative. And Mr. Garza here hasn't been competent enough to actually make enough statements every time he throw it on his corporate office, and that corporate office never come through to communicate any righteousness to us and show us what is allowable to us by law.
Well, what you are saying is that you do not agree that there is a grace period up until the 3rd of the month, and then on the 4th of the month, you would owe a $30 late
I
fee,
agree with that.
and then a $5 late fee every day after that. And that if a payment is made, but the check bounces, so to speak, then of course the late fees begin to add up.
I understand that, Your Honor, and I have made good on that, and I agreed to that $150, that one-time late fee that is assessed during that unfortunate time. But they kept on adding and charging late fees on top of late fees, and that's called double dipping in the late fees. So the late fees have become accumulating, will exceed the rent amount. So the next payment we've made for the full rent payment went to cover fees, and they still show us late on rent. And that is not a state in the contract, and it statutory is not legally, righteously right. You could do that and just enforce these kind of penalties on struggling families.
Okay, hold on just a moment, sir. Um, Let me speak with the representatives from Capstone. David Garza, is it David Garza?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, Your Honor.
and Kana. And Mr. Garza, were you sworn in this morning?
I was not. I apologize.
Okay. I cannot take any testimony until we swear you in. Will you raise your right hand, please? You solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Okay. In the future, I will not speak to anyone who has not been sworn in. I made that plain to begin with this morning, that anyone who would be speaking to me and giving information, appearing on my screen in this case, or appearing in my courtroom later on, must be sworn in if they are going to address the court. Is that understood?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Garza, the late fees that have been assessed, I understand Kana said that there were five times that the rent was correct.
That's correct.
And in those 5 times, there were $30 worth of late fees, and then there were must have been additional days that added the $5. And you are showing on your bill $175 in late fees. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and these were assessed after September. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct.
And you would take the late fees off before out of any rental payment that was made. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So you subtracted the $175 in late fees from the December payment. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Which meant that when the $669 was paid in December, that it was lacking in $175 to be a complete month's rent.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, and that's how you are. That's what you are asking for. Would you accept? Would you accept the payment of 3 months' rent and the $175, whatever balance is left in that $175?
Oh, yes. Yes, to accept the balance? That's
Yeah.
not, is that, yes, sir.
You accept that and not proceed with the eviction or not?
Oh, yeah, well, if we accepted the balance, we would not proceed with eviction. Yes, that's correct.
Okay, then what is the number that you are actually seeking then? I'm showing 2007 for the eviction, but what in late fees would satisfy what balance of late fees? How much you've already taken off the late fees essentially, and now it's just rent that's owed. Is that?
So it's actually minus 275. What's the balance is 323545. Okay, so the remaining balance, Your Honor, without the remaining late fees is $2,960.45. Technically, that does include March's rent, which March is not late at the moment. So I know that was a conversation that Jordan and I had yesterday. That if that payment was due, we would obviously retract the eviction at that point.
Would you retract the eviction if the payment was not made for March, but all previous payments and late fees were paid?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what would that amount be?
So that amount would be 3235 minus 660. That would be $2,569.45. $66.45.
$2,566. And how much cents?
And 45 cents.
45 cents. Mr. Khalil, that I think is a fair offer. Would you accept that to avoid the eviction?
May I ask this question? Is this including March rent?
That does not include the March rent, as what is my understanding. Is that correct, Mr. Garza?
That is correct, Your Honor.
So basically, they're asking for roughly $449 in late fees. That is, which is already collected, and when you've prevented us the opportunity to have December rent payment made. So
That does
yes.
appear to be correct, Mr. Khalil. And so I'm going to go back to Mr. Garza and say the numbers don't add up just in my head here. And I would need a complete accounting of this to really make an assessment in this case. Are you prepared to give me a complete accounting of this?
Yes, Your Honor, we are.
Your Honor, if I may add to that, the late fees aren't the only thing that are required in this balance. It's also in regards to unpaid electricity share for the unit.
Okay,
So
that was not addressed. And of course, we don't necessarily consider that in the eviction, but you took that off of the rental payments that were made. Is that correct?
correct. So his rent is the $669, and we do have a total of how much the late fees are that occurred per month available from his current balance that is posted on his account.
Okay. And you would have also the amount of the electric bills that you have. Have you already paid these electric bills? I'm talking to Kana. Have you already paid the electric bills?
So the electricity company that we go through is a third party through LP&L. It goes to Conserve, and Conservice physically bills each of the residents in the unit their share of the electricity. So they have access to the account and post their share. They also get email reminders in regards to what their electricity share is when it's posted on the 20th of each month.
And if they don't pay, do you pay?
We do. We take care of the account until they pay us through the resident portal.
We always pay.
And so you will provide an accounting of this total electric bill also. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what approximately is that?
It is. They have a $4.50 service fee that is applied each month. So the previous month that he was billed for was $39.05, and then he had another bill of $38.85. The bill for that was posted in December was $28.21, and then $37.94. And then we had a $22.19 bill. So
Now, in your contract with Mr. Khalil, does it specify that that the electric charges are included with the rent?
no, Your Honor. On the second page, it does state that there is going to be a service fee of $54 that is broken up into 12 equal installments, which equals that $450, and that each resident, based on the electricity usage of the unit, will be divided between each resident and applied to their account, separate from the rent amount of $669.
Okay, so in your rental agreement, you have an assessment for the electric, both the $450 per month and whatever the bill actually turns out to be.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And So that has been what you have been taking instead of taking the rent. Is that correct?
The total amount of late fees, electricity share, and rent has been posted in the balance. In regards to rent, 669 times the 3 months is $2,007, and then we have 188.74 worth of electricity share that has not been paid, and then the remainder is late fees
Okay, so
accumulated since August of 2020.
since August of 2020, you have, so what is the total of late, break it down for me, just the late fees alone and the electric, separate those for me at this moment. And for Mr. Coe.
Which one we were from yesterday? He wants to break down the leaf, he wants to break down the electricity, he wants to break down the rent.
So rent is $2,007. The total amount of late fees is $975.
975?
Yes, starting from August of 2020, he had a balance of,
You're counting every day since August. You're adding the $5 in for each day. Is that correct?
only the late fees that were applied. We have a section in our account that lets us know how many late payments and how much was applied of those late fees.
So the $30 every month that was late is $30, and then there's $5 additional per day after that. But to get to
Correct, Your Honor.
$975 from 5 months worth of, that's $150. To get to 975 is, it's a lot of $5 days that are also included.
That's true. And if I may speak, Your Honor,
Yes, you may, Mr. Khalil.
that's the situation here. Although she's saying from August, but the payments are made and I could show proof that made. So they've elected to take late fees first and then still show me later on rent, and for that $5 per day for every day. And now she's going back to August, that was not even a subject, as yesterday they came up with December, that rent is not made and it's already made. So we're looking into this. It's being something wrong, and they've changed their stories even today a couple of times when they're bringing this eviction for $2,007, which is lower than the amount we offered to pay him yesterday. And now they just keep adding up, and they don't have their accounting accordingly. And I think this system's set up to track these young students are out there seeking established future and imposing these unjustifiable fees, and then they're saying we have a proper accounting and this is a state order. And that's what I wanted to present. Is this a really state or federal order? Because it's not slumlord era anymore, Your Honor.
Yes, sir. Thank you. That's sufficient. I appreciate that. Ms. Khanna and Mr. Garza. $975 in late fees. Is that the correct amount that you are showing on your assessment?
That is how much late fees have been applied to his account.
And what about, and then the electric total comes to, back electricity comes to how much?
Total electric that has been unpaid is $188.75.
188. Okay, so 188. Okay, so we're talking a little over $1,000. Well, quite a bit over $1,000 in electric and late fees that have been assessed. And you mentioned August. Was there rent late in August?
So the two return payments that I mentioned in the beginning, Your Honor, was for August and September. So during those 2 months, for August, only $95 worth of late fees was posted to his account, and in September, $110 were posted to his account.
Okay, so the check or the debit bounced in August.
Correct. Those two payments were provided to us via our online portal. We do not have any access in regards to altering or changing the account number or anything in regards to that. That's for the resident or guarantor to provide that info, and they process the payment online through their own portal. We do not take anything unless they put it in.
So the debit bounced in August and then it bounced again in September.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, when were those made good?
That was we received payment on August 25th, when the due date was the 1st. And then for payment for September, we received it on the 30th of September.
I see. Okay. Then I think that that you have a very good case there, that these fees are indeed just. I am going to go ahead and grant the eviction, and the amount of the judgment will be for the $2,007. That's the unpaid rent amount that's due, plus the $136 of court costs, and I'm setting the bond at $699. That's 1 month's rent bond for appeal. And I am signing that today, March 2nd, 2021.
So, Your Honor,
Yes, sir.
so if we bring in the $2,007 and the 136 to them, that will satisfy the eviction, stop the eviction?
You would have to talk with them about it. I am granting the eviction. That is their right. The eviction would be their right, and whatever they are willing to settle for is their business. So I am granting the eviction, which means that you would need to be out of the premises in 5 days unless you can reach other agreements. Do you understand that?
Not truly. I mean, we've come through this, explained that. We're talking about late fees. That is a dispute here. Rent payment is.
Late fees, Mr. Khalil, appear to be just the way they were assessed because debits bounced and the fees were indeed late.
They were made good and corrected and rectified and satisfied. That happened in August and September.
No, sir, they were not, because you are behind at this point, $2,007 plus $188 in electric fees, in addition to unpaid late fees. And so that puts you in violation of your contract. You cannot pay long after and ever expect it. You're way behind. And so there is no justification for my not evicting your son. And that is my final ruling this morning. Thank you.
Okay, Judge, you can go ahead and turn off YouTube.
Okay.